your son Hunter is on trial, and I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution. But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
Yes, he had ruled out the pardon, and no, he doesn't appear to have remembered saying that because now a pardon has come. There's a statement that the White House released, and Biden in it said that he had decided to issue an executive grant of clemency for Hunter Biden, of course, his son, quote, for those offenses against the US which he has committed or may have committed or taken part in all the way from the beginning of 2014 to just a couple of days ago. It is back to December 1st, so Hunter, don't go out there and try to fit in any other crimes. You can't, it was only till the 1st. But anyway, Joe Biden obviously knows that this is inconsistent with what he has previously said he would do, but he has an explanation. Here is what he had to say. The charges in his cases, Hunter Biden's cases, came about only after several of my political opponents in Congress instigated them to attack me and oppose my election. Basically election interference, let's be real. No reasonable person who looks at the facts of Hunter's cases can reach any other conclusion than Hunter was singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. There has been an effort to break Hunter, who has been 5.5 years sober, even in the face of unrelenting attacks and selective prosecution. In trying to break Hunter, they've tried to break me, and there's no reason to believe it will stop here. Enough is enough. I hope Americans will understand why a father and a president would come to this decision. So that's what Joe had to say. Hunter put out this statement saying, I have admitted and taken responsibility for my mistakes during the darkest days of my addiction, mistakes that have been exploited to publicly humiliate and shame me and my family for political sport. Despite all of this, I have maintained my sobriety for more than 5 years because of my deep faith and the unwavering love and support of my family and friends. In the throes of addiction, I squandered many opportunities and advantages. In recovery, we can be given the opportunity to make amends where possible and rebuild our lives if we never take for granted the mercy that we have been afforded. I will never take the clemency I have been given today for granted and will devote the life I have rebuilt to helping those who are still sick and suffering. And so there's some philosophical background to why Joe Biden did this. He doesn't get really specific, but I think that a lot of people imagine one of the reasons he might have done this is that Donald Trump, as we'll discuss later on the show, has decided to go with Kash Patel, the ultimate loyalist and deranged fellow, to lead the FBI. And it certainly looks like Kash Patel would have loved to have used that new position to investigate and charge and imprison Hunter Biden. He's previously, written opinion pieces that that's what he wants to do. And so with Kash Patel potentially becoming the head of the FBI, that looked like a more certain outcome. So maybe that's what Joe was thinking. Francesca, what do you make of this?
I mean, look, there's a million things to think about this pardon. The first one is, yeah, okay, it's his son. These are what, gun charges, right?
Tax evasion,
tax
thing, yes.
We've seen Donald Trump do that with his own ilk. We've seen, we've seen it before. Donald Trump has done it. He will do it in the future when the next 4 years are nothing but a crash and burn cash grab for his and hers and whomever is in the Trump orbit. He's gonna pardon everybody as he did in his first term, and so Joe Biden pardons his own. That's the one thing. That's aside. So the hypocrisy, it's it's through the roof here. But it's not gonna stop, John. It didn't matter whether he pardoned him or not. It might have even played better had he not pardoned him because people move on and they think about other things. And the right for a little bit there is what should we do to try to, maybe govern? Now they don't have to because Hunter Biden, which by the way, the laptop story was a Russian op, number one, which was nothing. And then number two, it led to these other charges, right? That maybe were something, but again, there's only so far they can go. There's only so evil and dark a plot to do the thing that everyone else does, which is evade taxes, have a gun charge that actually kind of makes him look hard. But now they're oh no, now that, crime boss Biden has pardoned his own son, cause he's the consigliere and he's, the next in line to reign over the crimes. We've gotta spend the next 4 years talking about this. So it's just, it's like, it's what Trump always does, which is draw attention to the things that don't look good for him. Biden just did that with this stupid ass pardon. And I'm just like, great, cool, dude. Why don't you, pardon Bibi Netanyahu next? I don't know. Like, I'm not mad about, like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, this is terrible and it makes us look, no, nobody cares when Democrats play by the rules. Nobody cares when they break them. In fact, this might actually gain more respect, don't you think, from the right for Joe Biden than they had before?
Yeah, look, it should. Certainly there's a case that, hey, look, he's doing the straw man thing, he's protecting it. Like, so sure, they should. I don't think that they will. I mean, look, they're angry at Hunter Biden for evading taxes. And oh boy, do they hate it when their elites don't pay their taxes. Man, they think that Trump not paying taxes is the best thing that's ever happened. Okay, oh, and Hunter Biden had a gun he shouldn't have had. Oh, the right hates when that happens. Why do they care at all about literally any of this? And so it's all utterly inconsistent. Look, we're gonna get into the right's reaction to this because that's really what will matter, I guess, but we have to give our thoughts. I feel about this the way I feel about a lot of stories. Like, I want to say, I don't care, but that's not true. I do care, I guess, in a way. I don't care much for the same reason that I have never cared about a single story about Hunter Biden, is because I have never been convinced even 1% that it has anything to do with the American people.
Yes.
I just don't think, yes, he's an elite. He's a powerful guy. He's broken the law.
He's a Nepo baby, kind of.
Yeah, he's a Nepo baby. He's the ultimate political Nepo baby. But
Except he doesn't have a position in government, unlike Jared Kushner. But sorry to interrupt, keep going, yeah.
No, you're 100% right. I don't think that it's holding back anyone. I don't think the working class is getting screwed over because of Hunter Biden. I don't think he's hurting me. I don't think he's hurting my family. I don't think he's hurting regular Americans. And so I've never cared. I don't care if he goes to jail. Honestly, if he was found guilty and went to jail for the rest of his life, I wouldn't care about that either, because it has nothing to do with my life. It has nothing to do with your life. Now, Jared Kushner appears to have used the connections he had to get a massive sum of money, which isn't just an issue because it's corruption being drawn from the time you were in government, but it's also setting up future corrupt decisions that could have an effect on America and the American people. And as we'll get to with Donald Trump's pardons, those are people who did political crimes. It matters. With Hunter Biden, not so much. Now, look, I agree with you that we can look at the likely outcomes of it, whose narrative does it help and all that. So I care about that a little bit. But if it ended with this, at the very least, what we would get out of this pardon is we wouldn't have to spend the next 1 to 2 years doing updates on the legal travails of Hunter Biden.
Yeah.
Because a lot of wild stuff is gonna happen over the next few years. And I really hope that everyone watching now is watching then. But I guarantee you, nothing that happens to Hunter Biden is going to materially affect the life your family has, what your life looks like in 4 years. It's just not going to. But I will say, on the right, and one of the reasons they're potentially so mad about this is they need to deliver something to their base that put them in power, okay? And they're not gonna deliver substantive policy. They're not gonna deliver lower prices. They're not gonna deliver any of that stuff. Okay, but what they can deliver is bread and circuses. Or not even bread, you're probably not even gonna get the bread, honestly. Bread will be too expensive at that point. But circuses, Comer would love to go after Hunter Biden. Kash Patel would love to raid Hunter Biden's house. The sort of BS that they can fill the airways with so that people think something's happening and it's anti-establishment in some way that we can't really define, while they deliver nothing but increasing prices, international chaos, and all of that.